All right. Good morning or good evening. Good afternoon. I don't know. What is it? What time is it? What day is it? I don't know. I don't know. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. You should be able to A, see my screen, B, hear my voice, and it should sound crystal clear coming to you from my new microphone. So fancy. Nice. You should also be able to chat with each other and with me. Um, yes. Miguel says, check to all. Clint says, yep, yep, and yep. Where's everybody? Well, we got a handful, a small but mighty crew. I sent an alert out earlier. Did you see it? Did you like it? Did you trade it? Did you pass? Did you take any of your own trades? Hi, Vladimir. Good to see you. I'm thinking about another one. So two things. I'm thinking about another one. We'll give it one more minute and then we'll formally start. I'm thinking about another one, and I think I have set up my system so that if we this week did some spreads, love it. I'm going to ask about that in a little bit. So that if we do take the trade, I'm ready to like blast, blast, blast all my different mechanisms. Number three, did you? We've been reaching out. We've been reaching out. Flag me if they haven't reached out to you and you want this for texts, alerts. I did the first text alert today. So you should have gotten an alert. I wasn't quite sure what should the text say. It's not like I'm going to give the full thing, right? So I just figured the alert should say there's an alert. Here's the link, and if you click the link, it takes you into the circle page. That was my thought. That's what I intended. If you got the text, tell me if that's indeed what occurred. That would be super super helpful to me to know because I know that's a feature you guys wanted. I'm trying my best. All right, let's get started. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Market Watch Group weekly market wrap. My name is Scott Beck. I will be your host as well as your friend. Would we say best friends? I would. I don't know if you want to or not, but I consider us a best friends club to some extent. So, disclaimers. Never forget. This is for education illustrated purposes only. We do not intend any of it to be recommendations to buy or sell any security or financial product. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. We're not licensed or registered in any way. We don't give investment advice or trade recommendations. What else? Let's talk about today's agenda. What are we going to do? Today's market analysis. We'll revisit the posture. Let's trade first, though. We gave ourselves an hour on Fridays. We gave ourselves an hour on Fridays in order to have more trading time. So, are you feeling trading? You feeling traderific? Trade tastic? Would you put one on if we took one together? Maybe. I don't know. Well, let's think about it. Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry, guys. Um, Hold on one second. That's on me. And here's what happened. This microphone has a little top button that mutes it. I just have to forget or have to remember not to put my hand near the top of that thing. I think I muted myself. That's my bad. Okay, so influencing us to either A, carry trades, B, take new trades, but we do have a long weekend. Don't forget that. No market session on Monday morning. That'll be pushed to Tuesday morning. No Q&A on Monday night. That'll just be canceled because we meet Tuesday night. So Monday's getting pushed to Tuesday. Monday after the Monday evening is getting canceled. So nothing on Monday. Enjoy your long weekend. I'll remind you of that on Sunday. What are we looking at next week? What does our opportunity looks like? I'll tell you, I have signals and I have lineups. I have things on deck. I think everything looks pretty good. We'll talk about trading plan progress. We're wrapping up risk, right? We're wrapping up section 4. Your risk management plan should be nice and strong now. And then we're moving on to section 5 next week, which is routines. Pre-market, during market, after market, weekend, monthly, quarterly, annually. Just scripting it all out. Okay, let's go. Let's get into it. Temperature check. How's everybody feeling? How are you trading? If you're somewhat new, there was a time a while back. Both of my kids were playing competitive sports. My son had an injury, and we took in the summer. We decided to read a sports psychology book, and it was very interesting. I Whatever I do, I try to figure out how can I apply this to trading. And so, but it was a very interesting description. This is where I got the whole concept that you'll hear me refer to as the chimp, the professor, and the computer. Right? These are referencing different aspects of our brain. We have the heuristics, the rules of thumb that just work all the time, over and over and over again. That's the computer. Then we have the logical, the reasonable, right? That's the thoughtful, the proactive. That's the professor. Then you have that chimp, and that's that archaic part of our brain that just 50,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, maybe even a few thousand years ago, so important, right? Just kept you alive. It's that fight or flight part, the chimp that like reacts and chimp's not really necessary anymore. They actually say that's where a lot of like things like anxiety and things like that come from is like the pressure the chimp puts on the brain because it's like this thing that is there to help you survive when it's like, well, we don't need that, right? But it brings such this crazy flood of emotion, rage and sadness and all kinds of different things. And the chimp disrupts the efficiency of the computer. That's our thought process, right? So what am I looking at here? Anyways, what is that leading to? Well, essentially, one of the things they said in order for us to know, they're like, how do you know if it's the chimp or the professor? How do you know? And it comes down to this. Ask yourself this question, which is what I do. How do you feel? How are you feeling? Right? That's question number one. That's why I ask it. The follow-up question is this. Is that how you wanted to feel? That's an interesting perspective, right? I find I apply that in a lot of places now, right? Because if it's how you wanted to feel, that's how I know the professor's there in control. That's my objective for the emotion that I want to feel is control. I know I can't control the market, but I can control everything else. So I'll ask that when I do a temperature check. I'll be say, hey, how's everybody feeling? And is that how you wanted to feel? right? Where if you're like, oh, I'm frustrated. Nobody wants to feel frustrated. That's how it's sort of your awareness indicator, your alarm that says, whoa, the chimp is slapping at the computer. You need to do some work to get him back in the cage. Let the professor take control again. So, anyways, yeah. I can tell you right now, 80 to 90% of mistakes that traders make are self-sabotage. If you have not gone, go to the resources section of our Circle community, find the top 10 trading mistakes and read it. Those are all us hurting us. We have met the enemy and he is us, right? And so that's the situation is understand which of those can we eliminate simply by ensuring that the chimp doesn't get to the computer. All right, that's the soapbox speech for the day. There's the Roblox trade. Hooray, we're happy about that. Let me bring up. Oh, you see where I'm going. Who saw it? I was going to ask if anyone saw it, but it's already there on display. This is where I'm looking next, something in the financial sector. So I think we have a couple that we can look at here. Yeah. Let's take a look at these. Who was looking in the financial sector? Because we also have um you have AXP bouncing off the 50. I'm a little leery about AXP simply because of the last times it failed to launch. I'm a little bit more leaning towards something like potentially Goldman, which would I think at this point be more of a continuation trade. I would get that stop underneath here to carry this forward. That's about 11, 12. And yes, Miguel jumping in front of me. He knows I move in an alphabetical order. After GS, my next consideration would in fact be MS. Morgan Stanley, well recognized, sir. A nice, strong bullish candle. Stochastics turning. And I'd tell you, I'd be looking for something like this. I'm leaning towards Bank of America or Morgan Stanley. I feel like if we did Goldman would be a continuation trade. But as I look at this, let me just draw a couple lines. I want the group to weigh in. I want you to help because it's like, hey, let's pick one. Are we late to SoFi? SoFi's also in the financial sector. I don't want studies. I actually want drawings. Let's give it a little bit of time. Let's maybe even go like this, right? Let's give it that whole thing. Let's duplicate him, move you over here, and stick you like that. Want to see it? What do you think about that breakout? That's what we would be looking for here. That the consolidation's done and it's ready to go. Let's take a look at one more, Miguel says. He says, let's look at SoFi. I would put SoFi in Goldman's camp. That's a continuation at this point. That was the entry yesterday. You had both the stochastic and the entry, and you'd be up 6%. I feel like you're chasing a little bit on this one. Did anybody pull the trigger on this yesterday? And even still here, you notice your stop's down at like 1485. You're a buck 30 away. If your target was 18, you're a buck 30 for a buck 85. So the 6% is hard for me, Miguel. I agree with you that it's like that's what we're looking for, but I would also say first candle was yesterday. Um yeah. However, however, I actually would argue some might have the perspective. Where's my drawing tool? Where are you? Drawing tools. That this was arguably a consolidation. And that this is just like, right, we're saying, hey, if we can get to there, great, or even a little higher. And then the actual trade is that. That's the. So for me, I'm going to say, I'm going to wait. And since I missed this one, I'm going to look to take either Bank of America or Morgan. Bank of America or Morgan, I'm open to either one. Let's talk about it. Let's build it and let's put it out there. Um, Real quickly before we do, because let's real quickly talk about Roblox. This is the other trade. You can see what we were looking for. Same thing. This is me taking a sneaky reversal. It was overly impacted, pulled back, boom. It's almost as if that didn't happen. And this was a little overextended. So cut this off. And it almost just is like, yeah, a nice little pullback in the context of its trend, but it gives me that and that as potential zones. That's the trade right there. You can see, right? This is target number one. This is target number two, extrapolated over into here. I like it. I like it. Stochastics looks good. I like the way Roblox has been moving. Roblox, Reddit, some of those communication services. That's the trade. Um, the alert came out. Let me show you. There it is. There's the entry range. There's the stop range, which puts it down in anywhere in this area. We've got primary target 75.50, which is up there. Secondary target, potential take profit is 71.50, which comes from that right there. That's the trade. Okay, I do want to look real quickly at this is not it. Don't look at this. This is prior. I'm all of these things need to be what's going on? Why can't I? Oh, there we go. Delete, 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 delete. Woo, boom. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get ready. And let's take a look at SPY. Market's holding on. It's still pushing resistance. Someone made a good point yesterday that they held on to their head. So they're like, hey, it's still at resistance. That's valid. Even still, even right now, that's a valid point. I love that point. But we do have some bullishness. You can see the stochastic still looks all right. We have a long weekend in front of us. Certainly still some uncertainty in the market. Overall, I don't think that the short term's going to change. Maybe I give it a quarter of a point for breaking this prior high and this one and getting back up to this one. Maybe we give it a quarter point back. Actually, I think maybe I would. Volume, I don't think is going to change. I think it's still going to be negative volume, a negative quarter point volume. Long term is definitely not going to change. Maybe major market or where's my posture doc or sector rotation. I don't think so. I think those both still are in the same place. Maybe we get a quarter point back here. That would be. Let's see the VIX. I wanted to look at the VIX anyways. Give me your input on this one, you guys. I want to hear from you. The VIX looks good. You can see the VIX got back to this low. Not these shadow lows, but these body lows. This is a lower high. I'm going to give it credit for that. That's a quarter point. So I think I'm likely to be up a half a point. That puts me at 475. Here's what I want you to notice. We've been 5.5, 4, 4, 5, 5, 4, 2, 5, 4, 2, 5, just fluctuating between 4 and 5. The longer we're kind of holding that, the more confident I'm getting that we're not going to go further into a correction. I mean, I'm not predicting it. I'm just saying, hey, it looks like we're ready to try to bounce out of this, right? We're still hoping that our spring rally, our February, March, April rally takes place, that we can move with some momentum, that the tariff posturing is mostly through. There's a lot of bluster, but not really hitting much, very isolated. And so it's like, okay, then we can coast a little while before maybe we get to the summer. We know the Fed is no longer dovish. It's no longer hopeful, but it's not hawkish either. So the Fed is sort of a little bit more agnostic to the market now. It's not helping, it's not hurting, but it's going to be a little bit before they're likely to come in unless we see weakness start to pick up. So yeah, I'm who said staying bullish? Clint, I'm with you. I'm staying bullish. I'm not increasingly bullish. I know we're a half a point, maybe going to be a half a point up, but to me, it's just sort of like maintaining that 4 to 5 range where we've stabilized after a drop. So I'm staying bullish as well. I'm looking to see if we can maybe pick up steam into the spring. There you go. All right. So does that support another trade? I feel like it does. Let's go look at Bank of America. And being cautious. Yeah, right. We're not slapping on 12, 15% worth of risk, maybe 7 to 10% worth of risk. Like we're willing to get some trades out there. What is the risk of over trading in this market? I would say it's not low, but it's not mid. I'd say between low and mid, right? It's not like, oh man, you're really in danger, but it's like, yeah, you could start to over commit to some things. I agree with that. Good call outs, good contributions. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so let's go take a look at this. What does 15 tell us right now? It tells us that the institutions feel pretty good right now. Pretty good. Let's go look at Bank of America. As I look at this, I'm kind of leaning towards Morgan because I feel like Morgan could give us like this. You can see this sideways, and then it sort of breaks on out, and we have that same sideways. I feel like Morgan gives us a little bit more upside potential. It's gonna still give us the ability. I don't need to come all the way back. I don't think we need to come all the way back. Let me zoom in a click here. And let me actually pull this down. Perfect. So let's talk through this and then let's build this. We'll put it out there. That'll give us probably 20 minutes to get trades on and then have a wrap up conversation. Everybody's good with that, I hope. This is kind of what I'm thinking is support. And these are some of the levels that most cautious, you might put a stop all the way down here. But I feel like we have enough momentum with our stochastics turning here. Now, this is Heiken Ashi. Let me go back. We've more than taken out yesterday's high. We're considerably above that. I don't need to take out this high. That's not a consideration for me. I don't care about that high. This is enough for me. This with the stochastics is enough. That makes me think, you know what? These two candle lows at this point with this momentum, if it gets back below these, I don't need it to come all the way down here. I think I can get my low reference to these 2 points. 136.35, 136.45. Maybe I go a 0.5% below that. 130, that's about what, 70 cents, 136.35, 135.65, 135.65. Let's go in here. Let's go MS. Are you guys good if I move forward on MS versus Bank of America? I think that's the right way. That's what I'm feeling like. So I don't know. Let's get a trade in here. So let's go 136.35. You guys are so quiet today. Why are you guys so quiet today? And what do we say to the upside? 152.70. Yeah, let's go right to the top of that thing. Did I just close my charts or minimize it? 152.70, almost 10%. And let's get a secondary target. Usually it'll go about halfway between here and here. So let's call that maybe 148. 148. Just to have one in there. Please feel free to disagree at any time. 148. Let's get these things ordered by price. I'm thinking March, standard March, 35 days. May as well get out there now. I'm usually going to go. Now let's look at the implied volatility. I think we're going to see it fairly low. Yeah, quite low. Look at that vol. The lowest in 3 months. Let's see if it's the lowest in a full 6 months. Oh yeah, look at these cheap options. 23% cheap options, beautiful cheap options. We love cheap options. So I'm going to go out of the money. I'm not going to go at the money. I'm going to go from the 140s. I'm going to go out here to the 145s. It's the same. That's the same thing I did. That's the same thing I did on the RBLX trade was go out of the money. Plenty of liquidity, tight spreads. Honestly, if you wanted, you could go to the 150s. I don't think you need to because you're only paying a buck 82 or so. I'm gonna go out to next Friday. So we're gonna have to carry this through the weekend and give it 4 days next week, and then we would say, you know what? Now we're gonna have to make a hard decision. So this is 10 contracts, I believe. Let me see. Let's make sure. 10 contracts. It's about 1,000. It's about $100 a contract. It's very quite audio. No, you didn't. I was just testing you guys. So fast. So fast to tell me. All right. I'm gonna stop moving. I'm so used to grabbing the little I used to have this little ball microphone and I would just grab it and move it around. And touching the top of the microphone is what does it. So I just need to Miguel's like, because we're listening. I'm just giving you guys a hard time. Sorry that I muted it. I'm sure the software. Ooh, good, Miguel. So always helpful. I'm gonna look into that. Disable the mute feature would be helpful. Actually, you're right. I never need that. I don't care if I sneeze or cough into the microphone. We all share that. Just entered RBLX. Nice. Well done, sir. Love it. We ride together. Ah, Morgan Stanley. Let's see. It's got a great reward to risk ratio. I mean, you're getting over 3 to 1 at the midpoint. Like, I feel pretty strong about this one. This is what I tend to do. I think I'm going to put this over here live as well. Give me a second here. Let's all just take a minute, talk amongst ourselves. If we think, do I want to build a trade here? Let's just go do it. If we think we need to do it, we'll do it. I'm gonna try for $1.76. 176 on these. I'm gonna go forward with these Morgan Stanleys. I'm gonna try 176. Yeah. Bling. Got it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in as well on this paper account to track our lovely trades. Lovely. Paper's not funny thing. A lot of times paper feels like sometimes better. If you're doing it, tell me what you're getting for it. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go build this thing now. While that's working. BAC. Okay, so this should help us. Nope, not BAC. I went the other direction. See, look at that. That's funny. I was thinking BAC until I started to draw it out. Morgan Stanley. I definitely need to change the name in my record keeping so that I have this correct. Give me just a second. That will not be a trade. Entry range, we'll say that as good as 138.75, as high as 139.50, just to give it a little bit of a range. What's the stop? We said 130 something, 136.35 down to 135.10. That should be a one, not an exclamation point. 136.35. Hopefully, as I walk through this helps you understand. Like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing here. 134.10. What's that? That's all the way below the lows of those couple of days that touched down, right? And then some. Maybe I'd say, yeah, 134.50, maybe something like that. Primary target is God, I have such a terrible short-term memory, you guys. 152.70 and 148. 152.70 and 148. I always need to remember to put this in. This is not a do it. This is a potential take profit. Definitely see this as 7 to 10 days. That makes sense, I would say. 7 to 10 market days. 7 to 10 days. Taking a helpful dip, get us a little bit of a better price. Love it. Love it. Reward to risk is like 6 to 1 on this thing on the options. Maybe even 7 to 1. Volatility index, super low. I'm going to put that super low. And oops, really cheap options. We love. Oh, what have you done, Scott? What the hell? Legitimately, I do not know what I just did. Um, Morgan Stanley. I just want to go back to the left. That's all. Preferred strategy, long calls. Expiration month, March of 25. Sample trade. We decided that we liked the 145 strikes. Approximate trade was 176. Risk is $100 per contract. If we go March 14th, we get 142, 143, 144. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, it's still a month. That's certainly not like I would not be like, what, Miguel? No, don't do that. Yeah, why not? Run the numbers, see if you like it better. Absolutely. Okay, let me send this thing. So I think if you are looking at either the RBLX or the MS trade, take a moment now as I send this out. You're in the know before everybody else. Isn't that awesome? I need to take a quick picture. Feel free to ask any questions, make any comments as I prepare this for uh, everybody else who's not here live. Print screen and then post it. I see some chat coming in. I'm going to get there in 1 second. Let me just get this image saved. And we're going to see if this methodology that I am trying to implement will be faster indeed. Okay, so the alert image is now saved. Perfect. Open a new window. Let's minimize you. Let's minimize you. And let's start building this. So if you're watching for your alerts or anything like that, those should be coming soon. New trade alert for Morgan Stanley. Let's insert the image. Nope. The goal was to be back by 1:40 my time. I've got 4 minutes to get all of this out to everyone while we work together. And you might be thinking, Scott, how do you do it all by yourself? And no, I don't consider myself a hero, if that's what you're asking. Was someone asking that? I don't know. I'm just kidding. uh, ah, okay. Now I already have this ready. So let's design this email. If you're checking your email, get ready. The first one's going to come soon. Saved template. Alert. Oh, yeah. First one's ready to go. and send. Okay. You should see that alert. I've got another one to send here. Then I'm going to post it in the Circle community. That'll take me just a second. I appreciate your guys' patience. Are you guys talking amongst yourselves? Taking a quick break, putting some trades on? Anyone getting a couple of pre-weekend trades in place? Let me know. Managing trades? Anyone taking profits? Let's talk about it. There's another one gone. Send. And let's go post this now. Trade alert. Oh, two alerts today. Magnificent. Trade alert for MS. Maybe I should spell alert correctly. I do know how to spell it. It's not a hard one. Trade alert for MS. This is 2/14. Oh, happy Valentine's Day today, everybody, by the way. Yes. Okay, MS alert. Open and publish. Boom. Let's grab this link. Take it over to our text alert. If you get text alerts, it should come. I don't know how fast it comes. Save and continue. It says it takes up to 10 minutes. So if you're getting them, will you tell me when you get yours for this alert? Send now, ready, go. And come on, baby. Send it. Full send. Dunzo funzo. All right. Done. What time is it? 20 till. Mission accomplished. Let's go talk about market posture and the rest of our watch list. Let me check the charts. Got Roblox and MS. Clay got MS and Roblox earlier. Clay, well done. Earlier meaning before I built it, you built it. If so, take a bow. Pat yourself on the back. Love it, love it, love it. March 14th, open interest and volume doesn't look as good. You know what? Honestly, Miguel, look at the spreads, and if they look as good, I'd still be okay with it. Honestly, they tend to be, your off month, meaning we were looking at the standard month, which is always going to be higher than the weeklies, and we were looking at the 145s, right? The 140s, 45s, 50s are always going to be higher than the 42, 43, 44. So, I mean, if it's several hundred and the spread is similar, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm fine with that. But good. Alert arrived. Clay, thank you. Bam. Awesome. Okay. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. I don't have anyone that's trying to get in. Let me just make sure I don't have someone trying to get in the meeting that I didn't notice. Nope, we're all in. Everybody's good. Feeling groovy. Let's go look at the rest of the watch list. See what else is developing, right? Let's talk about that. Market posture, I think, is likely to when I say text, I mean Circle app notification. No, Miguel. I'm not that old that I don't know the difference between a text and an app notification. Wow. Thanks for showing what you think about my understanding of technology. We have text alerts through MailChimp. I'm just kidding. We have we have actual text alerts. So but we have like pretty strict restrictions as to like you have to tell us we can do it. And so I think that the admin's reaching out. So go put a notice if you haven't been reached out to and you want a text that actually comes and sends you an alert to your phone, a text alert that says bing, and then you would be able to click on the link and the link would just take you to the alert page on Circle. That's all the alert would do. Take you to the alert page. Yeah. So but it's a text. If you don't care, If you get app notifications as alerts just as quickly and easily as you would a text alert, then don't worry about it. But yes, you can have both. You can have them both. You can have it all. So you should have gotten an email for the alert. You should have gotten an app notification for the alert, and if possible, if you've given us specific enablement permission, then also a text alert. We aim to please. Apple paring down a little bit. Let me erase my drawings here. That makes sense. You can see it got pretty nervous up at this level last time. You can see that you're right around this old level through here. I like that. I got the app circle. Okay. So Miguel, let me know because I can like flag our admin to start reaching out to people specifically, or maybe even see about putting up a page where there's a form, and on that form you can go in and be like, I give you permission, blah blah, and that way something that'll help with the enablement of that. Amazon is still setting up. Amazon could give us a trade as early as Tuesday of next week, not Monday because the market's closed. Tuesday of next week, most definitely. App Lovin is just so strong. Look at that thing. There's nothing we can do but hope it gives us. That's a freight train. You try to jump on that moving train, it'll run you over. We needed to give us an ability to. AXP, we talked about the viability as to whether or not you like it. I'm a little iffy with it. I liked Bank of America, Morgan Stanley better. Bank of America, viable. BX, it still hasn't even broken the consolidation, in my opinion. Same thing with Caterpillar. Sienna, I see that as a maybe. CS, same thing actually. I think those are viable. You could pull the trigger there if you wanted to. Or what we can do is say, let's wait because we do have this kind of a transitionary candle versus a momentum candle. Let's wait and see if we get a momentum candle and make it a continuation trade next Tuesday since we already pulled the trigger a couple times. Right? And that way we can scale into it. Now let's get back out of this. Cisco, trying to wait and see what it looks at. Delta, maybe trying to hold support on the 50. Diamonds, no, don't look great. Duke Energy. Okay, well, we decided to put an energy stock on. Now is whether or not it's going to hold up, or if it breaks the 50, it's right back off the list. That fast. That fast. Fastenal, not sure about that one. Flex still setting up. Still giving us an opportunity for next week, I think. Fox, yeah, if you're in it, you might pare some down, but still continue with some. Bitcoin looks like it's trying to turn into a trade. GE Vernova, maybe setting up for a sneaky type trade like our Roblox. Gold. Ooh, big pullback in gold today. Maybe a setup coming though. Google, no. Goldman, I like, but you're a little late. Howmet, way late. Big earnings move. IBM, the alert was 2 days ago, or the signal was 2 days ago. So if you're in it, you might be still pushing that one a little bit. IP, you could make a case for IP. IWM, iffy. There we go. KKR. KKR. No. Nothing even close to a trade there for us. MasterCard. Maybe setting up for next week. Meta, no. It's way overextended. Morgan, we like. We're in. Microsoft, negative. NDAQ. Ooh. If you're in it, what are you doing? You're hoping it's a hiccup. If you're not in it, what are you doing? You're thinking, hey, you know what? If I miss that big entry, maybe I get to catch a hiccup on Tuesday or Wednesday and still catch this thing, not sweat through the weekend. Netflix, hardly a pullback, and it's already moving again. And Nvidia, same thing. PLTR, same thing. Not much we can do with those, but wait and see. The Q's looking strong. We like that. Roblox, we like that. Trying to bounce off a sneaky reversal. Reddit, not as much. but still setting up for something early next week, potentially. Rocket Labs, no. Snow something, Snowflake. I don't know. It looked like it was trying and then just stopped. SoFi's got some momentum, but yeah, it's up 7% today. What time is it? Oh, we did good today, you guys. We did good as a group. So proud of us. What a way to start a long weekend. TJX. Whoa, holy crap. I thought I missed that one and I was thinking about it. And then look at today. Toast. Toast has earnings coming up here in just a minute. Tesla. I feel like Tesla looks a little bit like a dead cat bounce. Anyone like it? Anyone not like it? I feel like that's such a short-lived bounce. There's a lot of headwinds for the company right now. I don't know. I don't know. If I were feeling more bearish, I might think about that the other way. Ooh, look at this one. Maybe a setup in Taiwan Semiconductor, giving us an ability to try to make a later play into the a surge in semiconductors. Twilio got beat up on. Man, Twilio gapped prior to earnings. Buy the rumor, sell the news. If you want a visual representation of that little saying. UUP, bullish dollar pulling back a little bit. The VIX continues dropping. Look at that. It's at the low of the day. Walmart, I don't know why it has to tell me that VIX is not tradable. I know. Walmart, come on down. Earnings, maybe we can get a new. There just wasn't an ability for us to catch something there. Let's look at the sectors real fast since we have a couple minutes, and we'll look at the trading plan. Call it a day. Basic materials, hard to say. Communication services looks great. Strong for our RBLX trade. Energy, iffy. Financials looks great. That's strong for our MS trade. XLI, maybe. We've got a couple things developing. Technology, look pretty strong, developing. Consumer staples. I don't know. Some bullishness, but not necessarily defensive bullishness. Same thing with utilities, healthcare, and lastly, consumer discretionary. I don't feel like we have a great representation right now. I'm not quite sure what to watch in consumer discretionary. Maybe that's the next place we run a little bit of searching and see about building out the watch list a little bit more. Questions, comments, concerns regarding our watch list. Did I miss anything? Is there a trade you're like, whoa, what about this trade, Scott? And I'll go look at it. Otherwise, we'll bring up the trading plan and talk about that as a finishing component. Okay. What are we wrapping up with? What are we getting ready for? We're wrapping up with risk management. You heard me earlier say, hey, someone mentioned, I can't remember who now, said measured risk. Cautious. How do we cautious is a little bit arbitrary. How do we refine that into a very specific strategy within our risk? Well, if my maximum portfolio heat is 15%, when would I ever be at, when would I say, hey, I want to be at max risk? When I have optimum max conditions, 6 plus. When our conditions are a 6 plus, yeah, open it up. Get your chips on the table for as long as you can until it ran out. And remember that it's not just like a free for all. It's not anarchy. You're still going to have a cap on how much, but you're going to open it to the max. Everything else is a variation based on the strength of conditions relative to optimum conditions. Conditions aren't bad right now. They're pretty good. We're still a 4.5 or a 4.25 looking to move up. We're still overall bullish. We still have, so it's like, yeah, I'm still looking at, but I'm not looking to get 15. I might be like, 7 to 10, which is what? It might be like 4 or 5 trades rather than 7 or 8 trades at 2% each. That might be 6 or 7 trades instead of 10 or 11 trades at 1.5% each, right? So you know, the individual disbursement and spread of the risk into individual trades, those are personal things that everybody has to decide. This is where you do it. Heat, risk, number of trades. That's a check and balance system to help you, right? Some people are like, I just don't like to be in more than 5 trades at a time. I feel like I could manage 15 if I wanted to, no problem. I'm going to implement orders. I look at them. I have a good cadence. That's me. So everyone's different there. So how you adjust risk? Do you adjust your risk by lowering the number of trades, or do you adjust your risk by lowering the risk per trade, or both? A combination of both. I don't know. It's up to you. You figure that out. Definitely, you should be correlating your risk management plan, your adjustments, and your number of trades, etc., to your market posture. Definitely, you should have an idea of at least a couple of ways that the market might flag you. Oh, what about this? Something that makes you cock your head and be like, huh, that's weird. Weird enough to buy a put, weird enough to hedge, maybe. And lastly, when should you take a break? What does this look like as an actual trading plan? Well, let's go pull that up. And scroll down to, let me zoom in so I only have one page. Get out of here. Get out of here. Why can't I move this thing? 1, 2, there we go. Okay. Risk management, portfolio heat. You might be 12, you might be 15, things like that. Oh, I think it finally filled the, yes. Morgan. Oh, I guess I didn't put the Roblox. I only did the Roblox live. I don't have time to try to put it on the paper account. Okay. What is your risk? How will that change? Right? So portfolio heat, 12. If it's hard to read, 4 to 5. If it's settled like now, it might be 7 to 8. I'll reevaluate every 100 trades according to Kelly criteria, because Kelly criteria helps us optimize risk. Trade risk, 1 to 2% for directional trades, 2 to 3 for delta neutral trades, because I'll usually have less of those on. Number of trades. So you can see I'm just trying to get some of your thought process on paper. You don't have to have specific formulas. Just what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? As you start doing it and implementing it, you'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to actually say it this way because this makes more sense. And then you refine it. Define, refine, polish. Those are the 3 stages of your trading plan. Define, get it on paper. I don't care. A sentence, whatever. Then you refine it. Then you make it better. You flesh it out. You really are like, this is what it needs to say. This is representative of me and what I'm doing. Then you polish it. Then you're really like, okay, let's really make sure the devil's in the details. Get to the granular. Make sure you really have a good sense of it. 1, 2, 3. Then after that, then you will prioritize and say, you know what? I don't need to just keep cycling on the loop. I'm going to just start to take 1 or 2 core areas and work on those, and just, you'll start to work on it less and just visit it once a quarter instead of once a month, and then once, right? So that's your trading plan journey that's in front of you. We're already halfway through. What do you have here? Just a sentence, a bullet point. Tsunami indicators. I look for a higher low on the VIX. I look for defensive rotation, major market analysis. I look for a defensive shift in sector rotations. You can see all 3 of these things orient around market posture routines. Lastly, when to take a break. These are the 3 core that I look at. This is the one that I tend to look at mostly out of my trading flow. It's a self-assessment. The other 2 are more like, hey, if I have $50,000 in my account and I draw down to 40,000, that's a 20% drawdown. So you might have a 20%. If at any point you draw down 20% from a high, you say, whoa, let's take a step back and figure out what's going on. Another metric based would be number of losing trades. Don't do something like, if I have 3 losing trades. If you have 3 losing trades in a row, that means you're trading. Don't do anything less than 7 to 9. Then be like, yeah, I'm going to stop and figure it out. That's risk management. Any questions? 2 minutes to go about your risk management component of your trading plan. As I've said before, and I'll say again, never in 20 years of coaching has someone who I have had take the time and the energy and the focus to go through their trading plan come back and been like, you know what, Scott, that just wasn't beneficial. I don't. Why'd you have me do that? Right? Never one time. Spend the time, really work it out. It's going to help you find the holes in your trading plan. That's it for me. I hope I'll see you on Sunday, but I know it's a long weekend. I'll post the recording as quickly as I can Sunday to make sure you can get to it if you want to. But if you don't come Sunday, don't forget, don't come Monday either. We'll meet Sunday and then we won't meet again until Tuesday morning. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. See you then. As always, happy trading.